In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about using GetElementById in functions. Yeah, so hang in there. So here on my page, I have a picture of a slice of pizza, one slice actually, the number 1, and then I have a couple of buttons, and actually I can count right through here. If I click add one, notice 2, and I show 2 slices of pizza, right? All the way up to, that's 4 slices, 5, and if I keep going, it resets to 1. Random, we'll talk about that later, but let's just see what's going on here. So here I have an image tag. You've seen this before, and this you have not seen before. Inside of an image tag, you can put an ID just like you can do inside of a paragraph tag. We've used this many times, and actually you can use this ID tag inside of a lot of tags. You can use it inside of a heading tag or a bold tag or a whole lot of tags. So here I have an image ID, and this is the name of the picture that I'm displaying. It's called images/1.jpg. Images is the name of the folder. And you can see on the side here, I have a folder called images and then a bunch of pictures. I named them all numbers. 1 stands for 1 slice of pizza, obviously. 2 is 2 slices and so forth. My width and height of the picture. Fair enough. All right. And here I have my paragraph tag. You've seen this many times with an ID. And I'm initializing it. It's starting out with the number 1. And you remember when I ran my page, it started out with the number 1 right there. All right. And then if I click a button, the button called add one, it's going to run a function called count. If I click the button called random number, it's going to run a function called rand. All right, let's look at the function called count. So the first thing I do in the function count is I get whatever is at the ID number inner HTML. Remember, that's getting whatever is in between the tags of the ID called number. Here's my ID number. I'm getting whatever is in between the 2 tags here, the beginning and end paragraph, and I'm putting that into a variable called num. Now, we've used this the other way. We've used this to usually output, but you can actually get what's in between the tags and put it into a variable like I did here, num. Then I'm incrementing num plus plus. Hey, if num is greater than 5, we set it to 1. That's why when I counted up to 5, it reset back to 1. And then underneath it, I'm just displaying the correct picture. If num equals 1, then display document.getElementById, my image, source, display the picture called images1. Images, is the folder, 1.png. If the number is 2, display picture 2, and so forth. And then at the end, let me just scroll down a little bit. At the end, I'm taking the num, we've seen this many times, and I'm displaying it, right? Document.getElementById number.innerHTML equals num. So that's what's outputting the correct number, the number that corresponds to the picture that I'm showing. All right, I'm going to modify this just slightly and take another look. So I have modified my function count a little bit. I made it a whole lot simpler. Instead of all of those if-else statements, all I need is really one line of code right there. Yeah. What I'm doing is I'm changing the image source to, we've seen this before, to images. This is the name of the folder, of course. And then I'm concatenating num inside of this. So it's going to be, let's say if num is 1, it'll be images/1.png. Well, I cleverly named all of my images 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to correspond to my numbers. So yeah, you can do this. You can just concatenate whatever num. So like right now, num is 2. So images 2.png is being displayed, and I can keep advancing it. And I can show images 3 and so forth. Pretty cool, huh? Let's take a look at what the random number function does. So let me just click it a few times. You can see if I click random number, yeah, I get a random number between 1 and 5, and it shows the correct number of pizza slices, and the number is correct. Yeah. So all I'm doing in my function random number, same thing as count. I'm getting the value of number, right? That's this right up here, and I'm putting that to a variable called num. Yeah. Then I'm using the math.random. This is a little bit confusing to students sometimes. I'm using the math.random function. Now, math.random actually only gives you a decimal number between 0 and 1. Interesting. So I'm multiplying it by 5, so that's going to actually give me a random number between 0 and 4.999. Then I'm rounding it down, So that's going to give me a whole number between 0 and 4, and I'm adding 1 to it. So that's going to give me a whole number between 1 and 5. I know that's a lot, but yeah, this is the pattern. If you want to get a whole number between 1 and 5, stick a 5 there. If I wanted, let's say, to get a random number between 1 and 8, guess what? I would just stick an 8 right there. If I wanted to get a random number between 1 and 10, yeah, that'll do it. Right, so I think you get the idea. But I want a random number between 1 and 5, and then I'm just going to display my random number, and then I'm just going to output the number right there. So you're going to use, I'm going to give you this underneath the link to the video. You're going to use this, what you see in this, not exactly, but you're basically going to use this idea to help you with the next project. So I hope this all makes sense to you. And of course, ask me any questions if you need help. All right, thanks so much for watching.